Okay, good morning. I'm Johnny USA is my name, and I just wanted to make this video in order to express my theory of how orgonite works. Because my brother just happened to have this oscilloscope right here when I started making, crafting orgonite. So one day I just brought it out here and I was like, hey, let's touch the oscilloscope to the copper pipe and see what happens. And if this would not have happened, right, then it would have just been a rock to me. I would have been like, oh, it's a nice pretty rock, and it kind of makes me sleep better. But God gave me this oscilloscope. The universe gave me this oscilloscope. So as you can see, this is an alternating current sine wave. Right now I have it hooked up to this piece right here. Let me make sure you can see it. Right there, it's backwards for you, right? But that says 7.4 volts. That's 60 hertz. Okay? It calculates the volts by the difference between this line and this line. The top dotted red line and the bottom red line. So that's an alternating current sine wave. Okay, this is not DC. This is alternating current. So look, let me just show you. You see how it's connected right there? It's connected. Make sure get everything out of the way. Okay, it's connected. You see the sine wave. And then I'm going to disconnect the oscilloscope and you see it goes flat. Alright, let's just look at this real quick so you can see there's no Houdini going on here. Okay, this is not connected to anything. Where does the power come from? Zero. It says we're at 600 megavolts. You can see if I turn the light on, right, when I turn the light on, at nighttime anyway, it changes it. I was measuring this last night and I was getting closer. I was getting about between 7.8 and 10.2 volts. So this is the oscilloscope lead right here. You stick out that little thingy, right, onto, make sure you can see it. I want you to see the sine wave start at the same time. There we go. Okay. It's reading right now 7.4 volts again at 60 hertz. So what it's doing is it's synchronizing itself with the current in the house, right? Because the current in our houses is 58 hertz. So it's right there. It's at 60 hertz. It's calibrated itself to the electrical field around the house. Okay, so where does this voltage come from? I don't get it. What's going on here? Okay, well, here's a nice little crystal here. This crystal is making voltage. The thing about crystal is quartz is an insulator. It's not a conductor. So if I just stick this oscilloscope lead, give me a second here. Let's disconnect that. Disconnecting. See, it goes flat. Alright, got this nice clear Lemurian crystal. Touch that. See, it's nothing. Nothing. But take your little piece of aluminum foil here, right? It's got some aluminum foil, and I made it into a alternating current electrical contact. So we're gonna put that on there. Then we're gonna touch it to the oscilloscope. Can you see? You see? Alternating current. Sine wave. Let me just read it for you. It says it's 1 volt, 1.2 volts. But this contact isn't on here very well. If the contact was on here a little bit better, then it would give a closer to a true reading. So inside of this matrix here, that yellow matrix, there's a bunch of crystals, right? Not just this one, but up inside of the matrix. So it's a whole bunch of crystals is generating voltage. Okay? A whole lot of volts. My bigger cloudbuster, my larger cloudbuster is puts out between 17.5 and 20 volts when I measured it. And I do believe the amount of volts changes by the amount of sunshine it's gotten by the time of year. So orgonite people think that it's orgon, right? It's not radio frequency that's coming off of these things. Because the way that Reich did it was he did a layer of wool, layer of steel, layer of wool, layer of steel. Basically a layer of insulating and a layer of conducting. A layer of insulating, a layer of conducting. And to my mind, that's like having a positive and a negative, a positive and negative, a positive and a negative. And when you do that, you create a battery, which creates voltage. And anything that creates voltage, this is the point, anything that creates voltage inevitably makes RF, radio frequency. This is exactly the same way that a radio and a power transformer work. As soon as you have voltage, you have radio frequency. Okay, and if you send that radio frequency through a spark gap and an induction coil, then you can send that signal all the way across the Atlantic. Or you can make a power transformer out of it. So, it's my opinion what's going on here is that these crystals are putting off some purified radio frequency that's being picked up by our body and used for cellular processing. Okay? It's kind of like just sitting out in the sunshine. This, to me, it's a lot like sunshine. Sitting in the sunshine is also very good for you. And having orgonite around is undeniably good for life. I've used it for plants. I've used it on myself. I've used it on my family and friends. And I've never had anybody say that they couldn't feel anything or at least sleep better from having some orgonite around. I've had one or two people, specifically my brother, have a really bad reaction from the orgonite. He had to put it as far away from him in the house as he could. Okay, so that's it. We got alternating current here. The alternating current is putting off RF. Okay, the RF is leaking out of this mini cloudbuster through the copper pipe, because the copper pipe is the path of least resistance. So there's radio frequency and voltage coming off of this pipe. And to me, that's how orgonite works. I'm sure it's more mysterious. The metals in there definitely have some effect, but I don't know how to quantify that, right? I personally believe that if you put gold or silver or copper in there, any of the noble metals, and there's electricity flowing through them, then that's going to influence the quality of the RF that comes off the pipe. Which is why I think it's such a good idea to either gold or silver plate that copper pipe or rod that you want to use. Okay, that's it. Short, sweet. Hope it helped. Hope you guys liked it. Thanks everybody at Warrior Matrix for teaching me how to do this stuff. It's just, I didn't ever used to like crystals until I started doing this. I thought people that like crystals too much were a little bit weird. But something about looking at crystals, it just makes me happy. Just looking at them.